Today, I'm going to show you how to use Canva to create beautiful, personalized classroom posters, decor, without spending a lot of money. If you're new here, I'm Rachel Vincent, and I love sharing ways to help teachers simplify their classrooms and their teaching. Classroom decor creates a huge role in creating a welcoming, inviting space in our classrooms. Whether it's motivational quotes, rules, specific content posters, Canva actually makes it really easy to design it yourself. And don't worry, if you've never used Canva before, it's really easy. And what's really awesome is it is free for educators. Well, technically it's free for everybody, but there's like pro features, but as educators, we get those pro features for free. I'm going to walk you through step by step how to create your own classroom decor and posters. And then make sure you subscribe and come back next week because I'm going to share with you how to create even more things in Canva. So the first thing you're going to want to do is make sure that you have a Canva for Educators account because it allows you to have all of the pro features for free. So I just Googled Canva for Educators. Apparently it's Canva for Teachers. But this will, if you don't have an account, allow you to get verified using a school email, or I think there's other ways that if you don't have a school email, then you can like upload teaching credentials and be verified that way. So I'm actually going to be flipping back and forth between my Canva for Educator account that I use at school and the one that I use for my personal things like for YouTube and Teachers Pay Teacher and things like that. So a quick overview of what you have here on Canva. Your home is just where you can create so many things for Canva. Then this allows you, if you want to go straight to creating, it gives you all the dimensions you need for everything you could possibly want. Plus you can make a custom size. Then this is where your projects is where your items will be saved. You can create folders and save things in, like I actually have here on my personal one where I have like everything I need for Instagram and YouTube and Pinterest and my blog and website and TPT and all the things. And then there are templates that you can use. And we will talk more about this. Branding, you can actually set up your own color scheme, which I actually have for several projects I'm working on, plus my personal brand. And then there are tons of apps you can use through Canva. I could probably spend a whole other video just on, and I don't even know all of these. I just use a few of them, but Canva has so much. So if you're not using Canva, consider this you need to start using it. Okay, so because this is my school one, so because I have it through my district as well, there are other features like I don't have the option to create a brand colors because it has to do with whatever settings my district has set for it. Honestly, I assume that other people can, I just can't for mine. And then this classwork, I know that Google Classroom is somehow, because we are a Google district, somehow connected to our Canva, and there are ways to like have students creating Canva. And I went to a PD, but honestly it was at the end of a long day, and so I don't remember all those steps because I don't have my students creating things on Canva. But that capability is there. I use Canva for lots of things. Like I created a student teacher book for my student teacher. This was her, this is a Canva element, and this is just text that I used to match the font. And then I just found all of these little graphics and then added text box and lines and printed one of these pages for everybody. And then it's off to the side because we turned this into a little book. There are so many uses. So today I'm going to take you through creating classroom decor and posters. So the first thing you should do when you create your Canva account is to explore. And so if you just search classroom decorations, you will get so many options. So these are all the different templates that Canva has. There are so many. And honestly, like if you don't feel like you're a super creative person or you don't want to put a whole lot of time and effort into it, use this. I actually would use this even if these are not my colors, but I would use it because the circles are already there, and that's one less thing I have to try and think about, or the rectangles are already there, because you can change so much stuff. So once you find something you want to use, like let's say, well, let's just go with something simple. Like you just want to create some numbers to label your cubbies. So you can click on this and not only see exactly what comes in the template, but then it gives you other things that you may have not seen on the original. Like one of the things, let me show you real quick. There's like this one. These are the months if you're going to create a calendar, but then look at all the other options you have to customize. So you could, and then it shows you what comes with it. There are so many things you can adjust. The best thing about Canva is, I'm going to go with square because squares are easier to cut out. You're going to click customize this template, and then it creates your own document to customize. So you can see here that all the things that highlight in purple can be moved, adjusted, fixed. So if I don't like this color when I click on it, I can choose the color I want. So maybe I want it green, and it's pulling green because there's green in this one. But then it has all of these, and then you can also add your own colors in. So here's the real fun part is you can go and search color palettes. And I totally spelled that wrong, but there are tons out there. I think Color Hunt is one of my favorites. So find a color palette that you like, find a colors that go with your classroom theme. Have the color picked out that you want, you are just going to click on it so that this little code comes up. It's called a hex code. And so you'll click it and it copies it, and then come back to your Canva design and click on your element and your color. And you're going to go to the little plus sign, and this is where you'll paste the code you just copied, and you can see it pops up right away. And now you have changed your color. So then you can come in and change all of your elements to that color. When you click on it, if you notice at the bottom, it says change all of this pink color to the blue, so you can change it all at once. It only changes the blue, it won't change the green. You would have to do that part again. And if you want them all blue, click on it, click your blue, and change all the colors for them all to change. So as you see, it changed everything that was that color. It did not change this background because this background is actually a little picture. So in order to adjust that, we have to find a new picture. So what I'm going to do is they are all in the back. So I'm going to come up here to position, and I'm going to go to layers, and you can see all the different layers of the whole project. So I want to come in and delete. I'm just clicking on it and then hitting delete on my keyboard to delete all of these little heart pictures. And now I'm going to go into elements, and I am going to search for, I want to do like a black and white background. And so I'm going to go to graphics, see all. Okay, so I'm going to size it so that it will fit into, whoops, the square. Let's try this again. I'm going to use my arrows to kind of make sure that it is in the right spot exactly. You can see. Okay, and then once it's sized, I'm just going to click this little duplicate button right here, and it's going to make several of them. So I'm going to move that one over, and then hit duplicate, pull that one over, and keep hitting that duplicate button. Oh, it went right to that exact spot. That was nice. All right, and then once I have them exactly where I want them, I'm going to go back to position, and I'm going to just go to actually arrange. And as I'm highlighted on it, I'm going to hold the shift down and click all of them so it highlights, oops, not that one. That's the number. All of the little backgrounds, and click send to back. So it goes straight to the back. And you can see when I click off of it, the little frame is around it and the numbers, and it's exactly the way I want it. And so I would probably, because this step is a little tedious, delete this one and then duplicate this whole page and then just change my numbers, because that would be much easier than having to redo the backgrounds over and over again. And then I can duplicate it again to get the desired number I need. Another thing you can do when you are wanting to find a color, like let's say you have a desired border that you already use in your classroom, and if you just Google bulletin borders, or if you already know like who made yours, whatever. So let's say this is your bulletin border. Actually, that's shopping. I want to try, let me go to images. So I'm not actually clicking on shopping links. There it is. So this is the one I want to use. So I'm just going to copy the image, and then I'm going to come back to my design, and I'm going to click into my design and click paste. And so it pulls that in. And if you notice right away, it already pulls up the colors. So if I want to make this match, it will pull from the image. Now, I am noticing that this blue is a little bit darker than that blue, so I could go with it and it probably would be a close match, or even this yellow. But if I want it to be a little more exact, I can use the eyedropper. So I'm going to go over here to the plus sign and click this eyedropper and then get a sort of better match, if you will. I don't know if it's probably not 100%, but it probably will look really nice up next to it, and maybe even this pink color, because that blue kind of looks weird with the black dots. And so then again, I can change all of it to that color. So I could do it in one step, and now I can just drag this off because I'm done with it. It deletes it, and now I have a labels that match my border perfectly. So that's how to create like decor, labels, different things like that. You can also do classroom posters if you come back to your home, or I just clicked back over to where it said search classroom decorations, and I'm going to put classroom posters, and you will see the large variety of posters already in Canva that you literally can click on and customize it so that it will match your classroom theme. You can change the colors, you can change the font, you can change the images and find ones already created. So you're not having to start from scratch, recreate the wheel, but maybe you have something in mind that you want to create. So if you come over to the little plus, the create button, and just type that you want to do, or come over here to custom size, and then do 8.5 by 11, and we're going to change it to inches. So that way, well, let me fix that, 8.5. Okay. So that I can print it, and it will pull up a blank document. It will automatically open up the design tab, and you can search templates and search classroom posters from within this. So here's that same one I saw. I can click on it, and it gets added to my design that I'm creating. And you can see here all these elements. I can change the colors, I can change the wording. All of these are separate little elements. If I don't like them, I can change the color. I can just sort of customize this already created poster to how I want it. Or I can create my own from scratch. So over on the side, you have text boxes where you can add any kind of text and then open it up, and you have, Canva has a ton of different fonts already in there, I believe. I know with my personal Pro, I can upload my own fonts. I honestly haven't tried on my school one because I just tend to use what's here. Poppins is one of my favorite for clean typing, but you can do whatever you want with your text, your fonts, your sizing, your colors. It has the same options. It's pulling these colors from this picture. So again, pull in those color palettes, images, borders, however you want to get your exact coloring. If you go over to elements, there are so many options. You have shapes, all kinds of shapes and lines that you can add to create things, to put borders around stuff. There are graphics. This is probably the one I use the absolute most. I just type in what I want. So let's just say I want school supplies, and I will type that in, and there are so many options and such cute ones. Once you click on it, it will recommend more. So it kind of gives you more that are similar to that. You can also click over this little 3 dot, and sometimes this one doesn't do that, but sometimes it will say see more like this or see more by this creator. And then you can actually find more that look similar. Like here's one, it says view collection. So once I click that, I have all of the ones that are created by this person. And so I can find the pictures that I want. You will see once I click on it, it also has the little color dots. When the color dots are there, that means you can change the color. You can make it look however you want. So if I want to change this little pink guy and make it more of a green, it will adjust. So keep that in mind. If you see the color dots, that means you can change it. If you don't see the color dots, here's a pencil that does not have the color dots. This means this is as is. I cannot change the color of this. Thankfully, it's a typical pencil, so I probably wouldn't want to change the color, but just know that if the color dots aren't showing up, it is an image that you cannot customize. There are also actual photos if you want to use. I like to use this a lot sometimes when I'm trying to make things a little more realistic. So instead of using, I can have a picture of real crayons for whatever reason I might need it, or a book bag if I'm trying to like show pictures of something on a slideshow, whatever you may be. There are photos, there are actually videos you can create. There are photo frames you can put in. So if you want it to take a certain shape, a lot of teachers use these alphabet letters frames in order to create bulletin board letters. So let's say I would just type in alphabet frame. And so once I put it in there, I would want to make it kind of large, because if I'm putting it on a bulletin board, I want it big. So now when I go to elements and I want to look up, let's say I want like a checked background. Oh, like a pink checked background. Oops, I'm in frame, so let me go back to graphics. Then I can just drag it and it takes up the whole frame. I can come up here and add a border so it will stand out. Some of them may not, like this one, I can see like I'm trying to drag it in there and it's not accepting it. So some are like, I guess, a different file, so it won't always accept them all. So you just kind of have to hover and see which ones it will take. Like all of these are not working like that pink one did. But see, as soon as it does that, I know it's going to accept it. So I can put it in there and now I have the designs that I want. This one takes it. And so you can change the color of your border. I want it to match maybe this, and I want it to be a little bit thicker. So I'm going to pull up the weight of it. So there are so many options with Canva. The last thing I want to show you is, let's say you are wanting to use an image. I like in my classroom, I have a poster that I made. I think it's on my personal one. Yeah, so I made a post that has Miss Frizzle on it, and I just pulled her from the internet. You can see this is the one I actually have in my classroom, but I played around with a bunch of different ones. So it's typically what I do is I know the look I want, and then I just try to find which image I like the best. Here's the one I pulled up, Miss Frizzle. So to show you how I did that is I'm just going to duplicate this picture and delete her. And so I went to the internet and searched for Elephant and Piggy, downloaded it. You could actually copy and paste, as I've shown you already in this video. But if you have something downloaded, you can just pull, but drag it right in there. And you see that this one has sort of like this gray background. So when you click on it, you can go up to background remover and it will take that off and make it so much better. So you can shrink it, make it fit. This one, I probably would make it big and kind of have it hanging off of the page a little, and I would find, I guess, a Elephant and Piggy quote to make it kind of relevant. I don't read a lot of Elephant and Piggy because I teach 4th grade, but anyway, you have this available, and then I can use the colors from it to match my fonts. I can create classroom posters. I can create labels for my library books that match all the characters. Just keep in mind, if you're using pictures from the internet like this, Elephant and Piggy, Miss Frizzle, they're all copyrighted, so you can't resell those things. Same thing with a lot of these templates that you're using. If you're just changing the color, and maybe a few things. You can't resell those. You really have to create things from scratch that do not involve copyrighted clip art. And honestly, I think if you're using an Educator for Canva account, there's probably even more as far as what you're allowed to create and resell. So just look into Canva's licensing and sort of rules about that before you try to sell things. Okay, so the final thing would be to download and save your creations. So I'm going to go with this. You come over to this share button. You can share this with other people. So if you created something, you want to share it with your teammate, you can just copy it. You can actually, if you go to this see all button, you can create a template link, which means that you can share this with somebody and it will force them to create their own template. So maybe they want the same design, but different colors. You just click that and create your link and share it with someone, or if you want them to have access to it. But most people are just going to come in and click download. So when you click download, it always defaults to an image or video if it's like has movement. So you'll just need to click here and go to PDF. You could do the best for printing. I find the standard works just as well and it is smaller of a file. So I just click that. And then if I only want one page, I could just say I just want that page or all the pages and then click done. You want to make sure it's up here. It is labeled what you want it to be. So I just would call it probably not all of that. And then we'll go back to download, change it to my PDF and just download. And now my document will be on my computer in my downloads folder. And now I can print them and cut them out and laminate them and make it all beautiful for my classroom. I would love to see what you're creating for your classroom. So if you share it on social media, make sure you tag me so I can see all the amazing things you guys are creating. And if you want to see how I used Canva to sort of brainstorm and get some ideas of how I even wanted to decorate my classroom, check out the video that's on your screen now.